Yo, women are so crazy, man. Why can't they just reason and be logical like us?
Are you somehow implying that women have different brains than men?
Well, I've seen it firsthand.
You cannot use a subjective experience to draw an objective conclusion. That is not a scientific method of analysis. So let me ask you a question. What is your methodology for determining if men and women have any brain differences?
Well, we just know so. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, but that is not a legitimate argument. You're using an appeal to common belief fallacy. Just because something is believed by the average person doesn't make it any more or less true. Was the flat earth somehow more true in the past just because the majority of people believed it? This is an erroneous assumption. In the field of neuroscience, the evidence is abundantly clear that there are no sex differences between male and female brains. You see, the amygdala was considered to be larger in men for many years, but meta-analysis studies have shown that there are no sexual dimorphism in human amygdala volume. There are no female brains, but rather we find a brain mosaic, which is a mixture of male and female traits in every single brain. There may be differences between the sexes, but the overlap is so great that you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And so knowing whether someone is male or female tells you basically next to nothing about their brain. Hormones also don't fit into two categories, as the three main sex hormones, progesterone, testosterone, and estrogen, overlap in many stages of life. Now let's see what is further written in the gender mosaic. Let's see, it says, in the data set of 570 adolescents from a study called Maryland Adolescent Development and Context Study, we picked 7 variables on which young men and women differed the most, including self-esteem, worries about weight, and the participants' communication with their mothers. There wasn't even a single person who had only feminine or only masculine scores. For each 59% of the youth had both feminine and masculine characteristics. So I really don't see why on earth someone once thought that would be a wise idea to group people according to their genitalia. Another reason this myth is so well perpetuated is because of what is known as the file drawer problem. So basically, the studies that don't show any difference between male and female brains do not get reported, and the ones that do show differences do get reported. This is a reporting bias. Furthermore, let's see what is said in Gender in Our Brains. I did a PubMed survey on research into structural and functional measures in human infant brains over the last 10 years. There were 21,465. Only 394 of them reported sex differences. A good question to ask, well, when would be the best time to study brain differences? Well, that would actually be during infancy, before societal stereotypes could influence a child. And so let's look at page 178 of Gender in Our Brains. Thousands of studies of human infants conducted over 3 decades provide no evidence for a male advantage in perceiving, learning, or reasoning about objects, their motions, and their mechanical interactions. So much for the myth that women can't think or that they can't reason. There seems to be no evidence for this claim. Furthermore, in page 310 of Gender in Our Brains, it says, a 2014 published study that studied sex differences in patterns of connectivity in the brain. The technique the researchers used meant that they could make 34,716 comparisons. Of these, only 178 showed differences between males and females, with, as the researchers did indicate, quite small effect sizes, 0.32. That is to say, only 0.51% of the differences they tested revealed differences between males and females. Astonishingly, though, the authors still describe these as prominent differences.
If you like that video, maybe you would like this one.